All right, big news of the day. Justin Jefferson gets paid. Record extension. He becomes the highest paid non-QB in NFL history. He is worth it. But my big takeaway from that contract extension going forward is we're not going to see many more receivers get paid the way Jet is getting paid right now. I think we are nearing what is a ceiling in terms of wide receiver salaries in the NFL. Like, I think going forward here, we are going to see the receiver market mirror the running back market. I know. You're probably yelling right now in your screen, Ryan, you idiots. How can you say that on a day in which a receiver becomes the highest paid non-QB in NFL history? You are just stupid. You're missing it. Hear me out, because there's a method to the madness here of that statement of why the receiver market going forward is about to mirror the running back market. It's because the replaceability of the two positions have never been closer. Like, part of the reason, right? Obviously, the pass game is more important than the run game, which is part of the reason why the running back, the position itself, is devalued. So that's why teams don't want to pay $15-20 million to a running back, because you're using a running back less, right, than you were 20 years ago. Different style, different game, more passing. But just like running backs, it's easier than ever right now to find a receiver late in the draft, early in the draft, whenever, plug them in and get similar production to a guy that otherwise you were willing to pay a boatload of money to. Right? That's part of the reason why the running back market has cratered. Is it is easier than ever to go into the draft, get a fourth round running back, plug him in, and have him give you 1,000 scrimmage yards. Easy. We see it all the time now. The receiver, it's getting to the same point. It is easier than ever now to go into the draft if you're a team. Forget about drafting top 5, top 10. Late in the first, second, third, fourth, does not matter. It's easier than ever to go into the draft a receiver, put them in your offense, and have them produce at the same level, if not more, compared to a guy that you want to give $30 million to. The replaceability of receivers is now the same as running backs. It's easier than ever to plug and play. So why would you give a guy 30, 35, $40 million a year when you can get a rookie on a rookie salary come in and give you similar production? And look at the league. Look at the guys that just came into into the league in this past draft class. Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze, Malik Neighbors, all look to be big-time number one receivers very early on in their careers. Would you rather draft one of those guys or pay receiver $30 million a year? I know what I'm doing. But again, you don't need a top 5, top 10 pick to get one of these guys. Just look at the past few years, what has happened. Look at last year alone. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl where their leading wide receiver was Rashee Rice, a second-round pick, who was second in the team behind Kelsey in receiving yards, first in touchdowns. I know they have Patrick Mahomes, but they won the Super Bowl with the leading receiver being a second-round pick. One of the best players in the league last year on the Rams, Puka Nacua, top 5 statistical receiver, was a 5th-round guy. You can go into the draft and easier than ever right now, find guys you can put in your offense immediately and have them produce. Receiver, because of now the style of play of high school and college, it is a position that is filled with talent, and unlike quarterback, easier than ever to have it translate from high school to college to the pros. And so with that abundance of talent, I think it waters down the market where it makes less and less sense to pay receivers big time money when you could just find someone in the draft to come in and give you similar production. Now, again, there are exceptions to every rule, right? Justin Jefferson, to me, is an exception. I don't think the Vikings made a mistake in giving Jefferson this extension. I think he's worth it. I think Jamar Chase is a receiver. If I'm the Bengals, I feel very comfortable giving him $35 million a year. 3, 4, 5 years from now, if Marvin Harrison Jr. pans out the way we all believe he will, I'd have no problem from the Cardinals giving him, at that point, maybe $40 million a year. I feel good about it. But it's like you look at the rest of the league and the majority of receivers, I don't say you can justify paying these guys anywhere close to what Jefferson got. I mean, look at guys right now that are up for contract extensions. T. Higgins, looking for a new deal. Brandon Ayuk, looking for a new deal. CeeDee Lamb, looking for a new deal. I'm not paying any of those guys from the Niners, Bengals, Cowboys, respectively. I'd much rather trade them, get something back, and then draft a receiver and most likely get similar production than what I would have spent paying those guys $30+ million a year. Like CeeDee Lamb, right, is now the hot name. Everyone's looking at him because he's the best of those three receivers who talked about getting an extension, and he's the one where is expected to break the bank. I don't think CeeDee Lamb's a top 5 receiver. So if I'm the Cowboys, I'm not paying him top 5 money. I'm not giving him anywhere close to what Justin Jefferson got, which by all reports, it sounds like CeeDee's trying to get, maybe if not matching it, get right underneath that $35 million a year. I don't think he's worth it. And then if you look at the Cowboys going forward here, you tell me if this makes sense. If you're Dallas, let's just say you do get a contract extension done with Dak. And let's just call it, to keep the math very simple, not a math major. Let's just say he gets $50 million a year. So starting, moving forward, you're going to have Dak making $50 million a year. And let's just say that hypothetically the Cowboys gave CeeDee Lamb $30 million a year. When you look at the cap, right now it's 255, not to get too deep into numbers here, I promise. But let's just say the cap keeps going up. Let's say next season, the salary cap is 275. So cap is 275. You're paying Dak $50 million a year. You're paying CeeDee Lamb $30 million a year. That's $80 million at a 275. You're paying to two guys, both of which are not top 5 of their positions. That's 30% of the cap on two guys that are not game changers. I'm not doing that. So if you're Dallas, even if you do re-sign Dak, I think it makes a lot more sense for you to ride out CeeDee Lamb as long as you can on the franchise tag. If you got to trade him after this year, trade him, try to get something back, and then go into the draft and get somebody. You just saw it's easier than ever to get someone to play at that level that CeeDee Lamb did at a way cheaper price. That's why I think going forward, you're going to see the receiver market start to look like the running back market, where there's going to be a ceiling. You're going to hit it, and salaries are going to continue to go down. Maybe not it's not going to go down at the rate the running back is. I mean, running back right now, you talk about double-digit $1 million a year. That's scaring everyone away. It's not going to get down to that level where $10 million now feels like an overpay. Absolutely not. And again, there are exceptions to the rule where there are few receivers that I think are absolutely worth $35 million a year. But on the whole, the receiver market is not going to be like the quarterback market where each guy up for a contract gets paid even if they're not worth it. Right? Even if they're not worth being the highest paid quarterback in the league, we see guys become the highest paid quarterback in the league. We're not going to see that where the receiver market where guys keep on jumping each other, keep on resetting the market, because the replaceability factor, just like the running back, is higher than ever. So again, Justin Jefferson, I think he's worth it. But I think what we also saw today in Jefferson getting that big time deal, going forward, we're going to see less and less often. Give us your thoughts here. What do you feel good about paying receivers? How would you feel if your team gave your receiver $35 million a year? Is that a smart investment, or is that an overpay and a waste of money? If you're watching on YouTube right now, appreciate you watching. Comment in the comment section. If you're listening, Hick at Night Podcast, Night spelled N-I-T. Appreciate you listening there, trying to build that podcast platform. So thank you for being a supporter. But if you want to get your voice heard, obviously it's tough to do on a podcast platform. There's no real avenue for you to do that. 2 ways. Tweet me, Ryan_Hickey and the number 3, or shoot me a message or shoot right in the comment section on YouTube. Channel is Ryan Hickey. Go to the video right there. Comment in the comment section your thoughts. Looking forward, easy for me to say, to what you have to say about now the receiver market. Should it become more like the running back market where you're not paying a lot of guys, instead you're going through the draft to replace them?